What's going on, everyone? Damon here. So, some games ask you to learn to dance. This game asks you to learn an entire orchestra. It hands you a dozen instruments, a library of sheet music, and says, good luck. We're talking about the 2020 masterpiece from Team Ninja, Nioh 2. And today we're going to figure out if learning that orchestra is still worth your time in 2025. And hey, as we get into it, if you appreciate these kinds of in-depth reviews, enjoy the live streams I do, or just want to support what I do here on Damon Plays Games, a quick thumbs up would be awesome. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on more content like this. It helps the channel out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Alright, so what is Nioh 2? It's easy to label it a Souls-like, but that's like calling a whale a fish. Sure, it has shrines instead of bonfires, and you collect Amrita from enemies instead of souls, but the DNA here is fundamentally different. It's part historical fiction, part monster hunting epic, and part deep, loot-driven RPG like Diablo. As a gamer dad, seeing the sheer number of tutorials and systems in the first few hours was genuinely overwhelming. But I just clawed my way through its world, and I'm here to tell you if the reward is worth that monumental effort. Nioh 2's combat is legendary for a reason. It's not just one system, it's layers of systems that all work in harmony, so let's dig a little deeper. The foundation is stances and key pulse. Every one of the 11 weapon types has a high, mid, and low stance. This isn't just a gimmick. High stance is slow, powerful, and feels weighty, but leaves you wide open. Low stance is a flurry of quick, safe pokes that don't do much damage but are great for applying status effects. Mid stance is your defensive go-to. You have to constantly switch between them to adapt. And tying it all together is key pulse, a perfectly timed button press after a combo that recovers your stamina, or ki. A failed key pulse in the middle of a fight is a death sentence, something I did a lot, which raises the stakes of every single exchange. The second layer is the RPG heart. This is where Nioh 2 really separates itself, the loot. You are constantly finding new gear with different stats, rarities, and set bonuses. A full armor set can completely define your playstyle, like giving you life back on every hit. At the blacksmith, you can temper gear to add the exact effects you want, and remodel it to scale to your best stats. This isn't about just finding a bigger sword, it's about becoming an architect for your own build. And the top layer is the demonic icing. You are a half yokai. Your burst counter isn't just one move, there are 3 types. Brute lets you power through an attack, Feral is a quick dodge counter, and Phantom is a stationary parry. Each has different timing and works better against different enemies. You also equip the soul cores of defeated demons, which not only lets you use their moves, but also provides powerful passive buffs. It all accumulates in the Yokai Shift, a super mode that turns you into an unstoppable demon. Mastering all of these layers at once is the true challenge and joy of Nioh 2. The world of Nioh 2 is stunning. You create your own character in a surprisingly deep character creator, which immediately gives you more investment in the story. You'll fight alongside real historical figures, but this history has been twisted by a demonic infection. The atmosphere shines when you're forced into the Dark Realm. It's not just a color filter, the oppressive music, the drain on your ki, and the empowered enemies make these sections genuinely tense. The art direction for the yokai is phenomenal. These aren't just generic monsters. They are figures from Japanese folklore, each with unique designs and terrifying animations that are a dark delight to behold. Let's talk difficulty. Nioh 2 is hard, but it's a different kind of hard. It's a thinking action game. The Nioh 2 wall isn't about reflexes, it's about knowledge and preparation. Hitting a wall means the game is asking you a question, and try harder isn't the answer. The answer might be realizing a boss is weak to lightning, so you need to apply lightning talismans. Or maybe an enemy has unbreakable defenses, pushing you to use tools like bombs or poison. As a gamer dad, this is the biggest hurdle. Finding the time not just to fight a boss, but to go back, research his weaknesses, and tweak your build is a whole other level of commitment. I remember getting completely walled by a particular boss. For hours, I was just getting destroyed. It would fly around, summoning those dark realm pools that drained all my ki, and I could barely touch it. I kept trying to fight it head on, just dodging and weaving. I finally took a break, and that's when I actually looked at the arena itself and noticed this glowing red orb. On my next few runs, I ignored the boss completely at first and just focused on breaking the orb. The second I shattered it, the Dark Realm disappeared and the boss plummeted to the ground, completely out of stamina. That was my aha moment. Nioh 2 isn't about hitting your head against a wall, it's about finding the right sledgehammer. If you're looking for value, Nioh 2 is almost unmatched. Beating the story is just the beginning. The game has 5 difficulty levels, or dreams. Each one is more than just New Game Plus. Dream of the Demon introduces cursed enemies that are hyper aggressive. Dream of the Wise adds a new tier of gear. It constantly escalates. This structure encourages you to deep dive into the loot system to create the perfect build. The 3 DLCs add new weapons, new storylines, and the true endgame, the Underworld, a 108 floor dungeon crawl. This is a game designed to be played for hundreds of hours, long after the credits roll. As brilliant as it is, it's not perfect. The biggest issue to me was the loot system. You are drowning in gear, and a solid 20% of your playtime can feel like it's spent in the menus comparing, selling, and dismantling hundreds of items. It absolutely kills the pacing at times. And while the enemy variety is fantastic, the mission structures and environments can feel a bit repetitive, especially when you're replaying them on a higher difficulty. So let's wrap it all up. Nioh 2 is a sprawling, incredible, ambitious game. It's a masterpiece of combat design layered with some of the deepest RPG mechanics you will ever see. It doesn't hold your hand. It respects your intelligence by giving you a mountain of tools and trusting you to learn how the system works. The feeling of finally creating a build where all the pieces, the gear, the stats, the skills, the yokai powers, click into place is a high that few other games can provide. My final recommendation is a strong yes, but with one of the biggest caveats I've ever given. You must be willing to commit. This is a game you have to study. You have to be patient, experiment, and not be afraid to spend time in the menus reading and learning. If you're looking for a simple pick up and play experience, this is not it. But if you're craving a game with bottomless depth that will reward your dedication 10 times over, Nioh 2 is an absolute must play, even in 2025. But that's just my take as a gamer dad who went through the Nioh 2 encyclopedia and came out the other side. What do you think? What's your favorite weapon or build? Is the loot system too much or is it perfect? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out a lot. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for more streams, reviews, and gaming adventures. Thanks for watching, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next video.